I never really talk about this in my personal life, so God knows why I'm sharing it on social media. But I have always thought that my best paintings are channeled from God. And I know that sounds like completely mental to say. And my worst paintings are channeled from me. Because I have this weird, and I never believed in God before I started painting. And now I 100% do. And I think it's because when you're painting, there's sometimes, and it's a bit intangible, and some days it happens and some days it doesn't. And to be honest, before this painting, it hadn't happened for like months, if I'm being really honest. And I felt a bit lost and I was like, what is going on here? Why can I not, you know, channel things in the way I used to, which sounds like absolutely mental. And my mum, honestly, when I became an artist, she was concerned that I was going to go insane, like Van Gogh, and here I am. But basically, this day, I was just went into the studio and I was like, I am just going to commit and connect. And honestly, I painted this piece so fast. And it's weird to say this, but like every brushstroke that I was placing was kind of perfectly placed. And you don't have to love the painting, the finished painting, but to me, each brushstroke was perfectly placed. And I literally hardly replaced any of the brushstrokes, which sometimes I replace like half of them. And it was funny because after this piece, I have started painting another work of art. And yesterday I was in the studio and literally said out loud, I've been struggling with this other painting and haven't had that connection or whatever you want to call it. But I was like, said out loud, God, you are just going to have to take over, which sounds completely mental. But 10 seconds later, I literally had a response, which was something like, don't ask me, I gave you the gift, which is just crazy to me that you can have that weird conversation. So yeah, these are really the only times where I hear voices like this or I have these chats. So I guess painting is my way of connecting to God. And I'm not like Christian, or I don't refer to God in any kind of religious sense. To me, God is like the universe, source, whatever you want to call it. But I always think my best paintings don't really come from me, which makes it easier to disconnect from the work, I guess, and share it.